Hey there, episode 169. Today we have Prashant Kumar, a multifaceted real estate investor who has over 25 years of experience in corporate America and has a passion for multifamily and all real estate. All this and more coming up.
Welcome to the Wealth Through Real Estate Investing Podcast, your source for real world strategies focused on creating long term wealth, cash flow, and financial freedom through real estate. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful real estate investors and thought leaders, we provide you the tools to succeed and to reach the lifestyle you always wanted. And now, your host, Dwaine Clarke.
Hello and welcome to the Wealth Through Real Estate Investing Show. This is your host, Dwaine Clarke. And today we have Prashant Kumar. He's a real estate investor and founder of My Realty Gains Management, LLC. Prashant, how you doing, my friend? And welcome to the show.
Dwayne, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored. I'm doing very good. I hope everything is good for you. Happy New Year to you. Today is, we are recording it on 1st of January. So good to see the committed folks like you who are always there, chugging along, doing good work and spreading good knowledge around.
Absolutely. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Like I said, this is my first 2021 interview. So it's always good to always talk to like-minded investors and just kind of hearing what's going on, kind of start the new year on a good foot, get us educated, learn about things. We had talked pre-show that me and you talked to a lot of limited passive investors. We kind of have that passion for educating people. You is the same. We're practically neighbors. You're over in New York and I'm here in Connecticut. So really looking forward to it. But before we get started, for people who are not familiar with your background, can you kind of talk about your journey in real estate and what your current focus is on?
So, Dwayne, yes, I will start with saying that I come from a very humble background. Even though I came to United States in 1998. I rather smart. I mean, I went to I don't want to brag about myself. Rather good college from India. It's very difficult to get into those colleges in India, and I'm graduate from one of these IITs from India, and I came here to United States in 1998. And my background is technology. I'm a very technology savvy professional. I manage people for the projects, within the country, outside the country, you name it. I've done that, with a lot of pharmaceutical, life sciences, technology work that I have done over the last 25 years. In addition to that, I realized because I was doing all that and, I felt like I had golden handcuff. I couldn't leave. I couldn't, I was doing all this great work, but the great work ends the day I don't work. That day I don't work, there was nothing more than that after that. So, I mean, I was not getting paid for the days I never worked, right? So that kind of brought me to the, mindset, I should build something for my own, something which is more meaningful, which can be mine, irrespective of whether I'm working or not. And at the same time helping others also to achieve their dream. So 5 years ago, I started my journey in real estate. I started with a few single families like everybody else, but I soon realized that that was not the right asset class for me, at least, because of course, I had good background, good money coming in, good net worth. And buying those homes seemed like too small of a step for me. So in 1 year itself, I bought these single families, and I got really upset. It took me 3 months to buy one home, and I was like, man, why am I doing this? I jumped into multifamily right away. I bought a 24-unit multifamily that year itself, and then the revelation came that how much money can I continue to invest or purchase with using my own money. So that's when I got baptized to, like I said, I always get baptized to syndication. And that's when I started started learning syndication, so to say. So about 3-4 years ago, I started learning syndication, and then I got into syndication deal, um, and one deal after another deal and after another. In 2019, we were able to close about 1,200 units.
Mm.
Um, and one of the passions that I have is, as I said, I come from a very humble background. We are close knit family. Grandfather used to stay with us, or we used to live with our grandfather. I would rather say that, to honor him. And we always took care of our elders. So that was there in my heart somewhere. I said I had to do something. Maybe it is business. Like assisted living. So I started exploring assisted living, area a little bit, and we purchased few assisted living facilities in 2019. In 2020, for obvious reasons, we have not done much yet. Uh, I mean, I think, yeah, I did not do anything in 2020 yet. And we are in contract for few assisted livings and um, few things going on the multifamily side also. But I mean, very humbly, this is my background, from
Mm.
single family to multifamily syndication within 3 4 years, 5 years. And then I'm really focused on multifamily syndication, money, basically investor relations. I mean, I do everything, but the goal is to impart knowledge, being in the circle where I come from. I know a lot of people, a lot of people, because I come from IT background. I come from a community, Indian community and whatnot. So you see a lot of Indian doctors and attorneys and all that around, or a lot of technology guys around.
Mm.
So I know a lot of them, and a lot of them have a lot of money, and not a lot of them know what to do with their money because they are so busy. So part of my quest is to educate them, to fundamental benefits of real estate investing
Mm.
into bigger assets, not single family investments, bigger assets. That's my focus, to educate them, tell them what are the, and it's not about they come and invest with me, or I mean, it's about educating, imparting the knowledge, and take it from there. So,
Mm.
for that reason, I have my company, myrealtygains.com. That's how that is the company where I have some educational stuff and free educational stuff for folks like, whom I know very well, and generally everybody else.
Yeah, I love
This is
I like that a lot. Absolutely, because like I said, education is key, and kind of like your story where you just said I'm going to start into real estate. You got into single family, and then you just you said you got baptized, and like the kind of the light went off, and you said I have to go to bigger, and then learning more, educating people like that. Because I had a conversation yesterday with a couple friends, and I was talking about syndication. Like, what is that? They had no idea that they can own parts of large commercial property, have all these tax benefits, all of these different benefits, the cash flow and all of these different things, and they just had no idea. They're always in tune with stocks, 401ks and things like that, and have realized no. And then on top of that, you mentioned as far as the time, some of them don't have the time to either educate themselves or get the right networks to get involved in these type of networks. So I'm glad that you created this platform to educate people, and just people, as long as it's with you or with others, just at least have the education to start that journey, like you did as well. Can you kind of talk about the just the overall importance of educating yourself? My thing is, anyone who wants to invest with me or invest with others, I want them to know as much as the sponsor, the operator, so they know when they write that 25, $50,000 check, that they feel very confident on how it works, instead of it kind of like a stock market where you just kind of throw your money in there and hope that it goes well. Can you kind of talk about the importance for education for passive investors?
See, basically, the people um, who are who are working out there for us, in technology or in medical sciences or wherever, they have the mindset that they can go to stock and they can make few bucks there, right? So let me just take a step back. What happens is, and I'm talking from their mindset. What in their mind, real estate investing is only investing in a single family home and taking the rent from that and manage the property themselves and have the pride. The biggest thing is the pride to own real estate in their name.
Yeah,
I think that's the real challenge people
exactly.
have. Pride to own real estate in their name. Oh, I have 5 homes. I have 10 homes. I have second home. So that is the biggest challenge these people have because uh, so my education to them is, guys, yes, you are owning this real estate where you are taking care of toilet, trash, and tenants yourself, and you are not skilled to do so, but you are doing it, which is good. But if you buy, and in their mind, syndication is, when I tell them syndication, they say that they are giving me their money. If they are investing with me, in their mind, they are giving me their money. So I tell them, guys, it is not that you are giving me your money, you are buying a portion of a bigger real estate. And instead of buying a $300,000 home, you are buying 10% portion of a $3 million property. As a rough example, the whole $3 million worth of project is being managed by the real professionals whose livelihood depend on the income that they produce on that project. They have been doing it for a long time. Property managers, they are who are managing it. They are they are asset managers who are asset managing that asset. They are people sponsors who are making sure that deal is successful. So the amount of return that you are, the amount of advantages that you have in single family, you get same, and in addition, same or more in terms of the money right away. Your cash flow is much more in multifamily than your single family. Your appreciation is much more because you are adding the value. This property manager and the construction manager, they are adding value. The valuation of the property is increasing. So you are getting advantages of appreciation, you are getting the advantages of professionally managed project, you are getting advantages of uh, regular cash flow, the cash flow which is more than what you would get in your single family. And on top of it, you get the massive advantages of tax depreciation that is not possible in single families. We have that in multifamily kind of assets. And on top of all that, that project is being looked after by the lender. The lender who has given the money, he has the most skin in the game. So he is making sure that we are not screwing up on a day-to-day basis. And it is being looked after by all these attorneys that we have involved in the deal, right? So it is much more safer project and much more professionally managed and much more advantageous kind of project. So to them, I tell them, guys, this is something you have to understand. And now coming to your question is, when they invest, my original point, they say that they are giving me the money. And I tell them, guys, you are not giving me the money. You are buying an asset with me. You are the partner in that. So in a sense, you have the pride. You are the proud owner of this project. It is not 100%. Maybe it is 5%. Maybe it is 10%, depending upon how much you put in. But so that's the education. That's the education piece. This is the basic fundamental, which is missing from regular people who invest in stock market. They do not know, and unless you tell them. So telling is one thing. Yes, they can read it from YouTube. When we keep on telling them again and again, that's The important thing is the trust. Have they built that trust with me or not? One is education, second is the relation. How do they see me as a person? How do they see Dwayne Clarke as a person? Is he trustworthy person or not? Maybe they have seen you once on a podcast or once on YouTube somewhere. They have understood, they have gained the knowledge, but they do not know how Dwayne Clarke is. It will take time when they keep on seeing Dwayne Clarke again and again, over a period of time, and keep talking to Dwayne Clarke again and again, then they will build some trust. Somebody comes to me and say, if I go to somebody and ask for money, guy, this is the deal. Can you give me 50,000, 100,000? Nobody's going to give me that money.
Exactly.
Nobody is stupid, right? I mean, if somebody comes to me, I would not give my money to anybody, right? This is hard earned money. And we as a syndicator, that's our responsibility to take care of others' money better than the amount of care that we give to our own money. And we have to communicate, we have to build that trust in the investor's mind, limited partner's mind. Until that is not there, they will not feel comfortable. These are retail investors, these are not private equity guys. I mean, private equity guys have various other measures to keep them safe. Limited partner hardly knows more about, how the deals are structured and things like that. The important thing is, one is education and building relationship, two things,
Mm,
not just one, two things. And without that, there's no business. If you don't have investor, there's no business, right? I mean,
exactly.
so these are the most important piece in our business. One is investors, second is deal. There are two things we always say. This business has two things. One is deal flow, and second is investors. And we keep on working on both the things at the same time, we paying equal attention to all of that. So investors, talking to the investors is a good portion of this business.
Mm-hmm.
Education, building relationship. The more you educate, the more they start seeing you and I as subject matter expert. If we are talking from our heart, I mean, if I'm making it up, I can make it up right now, a few things. But wouldn't you know that Prashant is making up? You will know it. That's your instinct, right? People are not, I mean, if somebody comes and start blabbering in front of me, I would know that this guy is blabbering.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, we have to be genuine to the core. We have to be genuine to build that trust with the investor. The sooner we build that trust, better it is for our business. And that trust can only be built by example. You keep doing the right thing over and over again and keep on communicating it to the investors over and over again. Over a period of time, maybe in a year you will find 10 investors. But if you see, and those 10 investors are for your life,
Mm-hmm.
you keep doing the business with them. Maybe in 5 years, 10, 10, 10, 10, you are having 50 investors. And that
Mm-hmm.
is good enough for you to continue your business for the rest of your life. Because
Mm-hmm.
remember, you have to remember one thing. These are repeat investors. If you are doing the right thing, these investors come to you automatically. Now I'm at a point where investors call me, Prashant, do you have a deal? Forget
Mm-hmm.
about me saying them. Prashant, do you have a deal? I have some money to place.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, yeah, okay, let me cut you the check. And there are times it has happened. I had a deal and I called somebody. I said, I have a deal without knowing what the deal is. They said, okay, I'm sending you a check of 50,000
Yep, they trust you.
without
Yeah.
knowing. He said,
Yeah.
tell me the name. So so investors build that kind of trust that, okay, if they have invested once, they have gotten the returns and we have been faithful with them to the nth degree, from the core of our heart, then a relationship has been built. And then investor knows that, yes, tomorrow if I just give the money to Prashant, that's it. Is gonna make me at least 7-8% anyway. So why should I worry about it? Why do I need to know the details? Let him worry about all the problems. And I'm here. I'll just cut the check.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you are getting my point, right? I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to communicate that trust, education. Through education, you develop that trust, and that trust actually brings the, without that trust there will not be any investor around.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was
So yeah,
totally,
that
yeah, yeah,
that is my
definitely.
long-winded answer to your question.
No, that's actually perfect because that was actually my second question was the second piece of getting to know the syndicator, the sponsor, and you just alluded to the the trust and the education, and to the point where they trust you so much where they say, I'm just going to write you the check because I know what Prashant does. I know how he is. He's a man of his word. I see how he is, as his personality and things like that, and that all of those elements, and then kind of adding to that, for for people who are then looking at some additional steps on how they kind of vet sponsors through maybe their track record, referrals from other investors, kind of their whole process, communication, transparency, different things where you can be able to see if this is a good fit for you. And of course, you really alluded to it, is the biggest thing is over that overall relationship and trust with the investors, which is may not be an overnight thing, but just a continual thing where they're starting to see you and they become, more familiar with you, and they eventually feel comfortable enough to invest with you. So I appreciate you sharing that. You definitely covered that over. You had mentioned early on, which was pretty cool. I wanted to definitely ask you about that, which stems from your passion. You mentioned, through your family, growing up, with your grandparents, and kind of thinking about ways that you can help them along with helping others, but is also a very attractive niche is the assisted living industry as well. I've talked to a couple investors on the show that are invested in heavily in that, and attractive returns, great social investment, and also it's just something that everyone relates to. Can you kind of talk about that, the assisted living industry, and the things that you were working on in your company?
See, basically, if you think about it, are we growing, or we have stopped our growth? Are we aging? All of us are aging, right? Anybody, any population that is out there is going to age to that level, where we would need some help from out from somebody else, whether it would be from our loved ones, or whatever. I mean, it's just a nature, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we would need some help at some point. But that's an industry where, you have residents, elderly residents who are, who live with us, in a facility, in a home like this normal home, my home, let's say, for that example, everybody having their separate beds, and we provide them all the facilities, food, entertainment, sanitation, social, social life, within among the residents. So that is like you are taking care of somebody. Yes, you are getting paid for that. It's a business model, right? You have an operator who who hires the caregivers, who hires the chef, who hires the either security staff, or some entertainment mode. All kind of things are provided to these senior residents, basically. So what I'm involved in right now is residential level, not the big box facilities as yet. I'm not into bigger, because the numbers do not work very well there. With the smaller ones, um, you know, typical, for example, if you buy a house, you put it together, you can get, and again, it's not about numbers, but I'm just sharing the numbers. You can get anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 from one home as a cash flow, right? You can buy a home, put together, put furniture, and you run a business, basically. So you need some experience also. The operator, it's an operation heavy business. It's
Mm-hmm.
very regulatory, because you have to follow all the standards, of the
Mm-hmm.
sanitation, of the food, the quality of people you are putting in. You are making sure that you are not abusing, no abuse is happening in your facilities, security cameras, and all that. So it is very regulatory kind of business. So you need a good operator to be the partner of your project. basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought a couple of single family homes next to each other. So every single family home has, let's say 6 residents. So we have in total 18, and we are buying few more this year. But the basic idea is that industry is bound to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, big box facilities like you at the hotel room, one next to each other, and everybody's kind of segregated. In a residential setting, you are inside the home where everybody is in separate rooms, but there's a common area also, there's a kitchen there. It feels like more of a home setting.
Mm-hmm.
So elderly people tend to like that better. um, and cost is not too much more in terms of big box facility versus a residential. It's just that managing residential assisted living is a little bit more specialized niche. However, your cash flow is much more. If you are able to continue to put more properties in your portfolio, three plus three plus three, there's some economy of scale, so we can talk about numbers some other time. But if you put three facilities together, then you get more economy of scale, because then you can have one person managing those three,
Exactly.
and whatnot, and then some care staff. So that's how we did three. Now we plan to do three more, and continue on that path. And the basic idea is to serve. I mean, it comes from a very humble, it's not about money that much, but money comes, when you are doing it. It's regular stuff. It's not nursing facilities. We do not have Medicare. It's all private pay. The first alpha uh, projects that we did was in California, and we are doing some more in California. Maybe then we'll go to Arizona or Colorado or Texas. That's our thought process. California has 6 bed um, facilities, but Arizona, Colorado, or Texas, they may have 10 to 12 to 16 bed facilities also. So it's easier to get the economy of scales
Exactly.
in other
Mm-hmm.
states than California. But we started in California because our partner, who's an operator who has been operating these properties for a long, long time, he is from California. That's how we ended up starting as a pilot project with him. And our goal is to expand that part of the business also over the next couple of years.
Mm. Awesome. Yeah, yeah, definitely we'll have to set up another time to talk more in detail about that business model. We had, like I said, one investor that was specializing in that. It was just really fascinating, and like I said, it's the trends are there. Like I said, everyone's aging is having that type of house, and everyone's looking for that type of home, type of living. You can get nice care instead of kind of large hospital setting where everybody's kind of on top of each other. That's really good, and at the same time, it's a business, and at the same time, it's doing a lot of good in the world. Could we switch over to the topic of networking? I understand you run a meetup group in Long Island, and that's a great way for people that want to learn about passive investing or real estate investing in general, and a way for them to meet you and learn about the process. Can you kind of talk about your group and how's it been going, and tips for people that are looking to set up similar structures and how some success in that as well?
Yeah, so in this business, networking is the key, right? I mean, I kind of alluded earlier. Relationship building, trust building, that's the key. And for that, you have to come out of yourself, come out of your introvert nature. I was very introvert, so to say, to begin with. I but in this industry, when I entered, I had to start learning to talk to the camera. And now now you can see, we can talk easily.
Mm-hmm.
I feel very, very, I mean, I was very, I mean, I couldn't talk, in public at all. So to say, it's like my personal development also, that I'm learning to be an extrovert, an expressive person, that I want to communicate what I really feel inside, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And in the meetup kind of settings, then when you're talking to 10 people, and you're not ignoring anybody there, you are paying attention to everybody, and you are trying to impart knowledge, and that kind of builds your personal relationship with your friends or the meetup attendees. I mean, this year, of course, we are not doing in public in person meetups for obvious reason, but We tried doing that before COVID. We had our meetup in Long Island here, but ever since, it has been only online. We let's say this Thursday I have meetup. I have about 115 people registered for that. um, I mean, half or maybe one third do join. And the format is typically, I have a guest speaker for 30-40 minutes, and then 20-30 minutes of networking. But the basic idea is to, again, to and connect,
Mm-hmm.
educate and build that relationship. If you're not doing that, then you're not. I mean, we want to educate basically, and we are helping active investors also, those who want to be passive, who want to be syndicators, who are sort of our, in other words, our competition. This is the only industry I see where we teach our competition whatever we can. And because the team game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those whom you are teaching, they become part of your team also sometime, hopefully, and you do bigger deals. I mean, nobody has 10 and 20 million. If you have to do 20, 20, $30 million deal, you need people with the right mindset. And meetups, these educational events, these are great ways to connect with the people at the same wavelength. Otherwise, if you start cold calling, after making 200 or 300, 500 calls, you'll maybe find one person who
Mm-hmm.
actually in the same mental wavelength, right? And you have spent so much time. So
Mm-hmm.
meetups is a great way because it's only like-minded people come there, and you meet and you talk and you connect with them, and you keep connecting again and again. And of course, you don't charge anything for it. Should I charge? Maybe maybe you should, but that's not. I mean, that's just peanuts, right? What would you charge? When you are talking about millions of dollars worth of deals,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
not worth charging any money or anything. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You are
Mm-hmm.
just connecting, and these smaller things, you don't worry about, and and it just works. I mean, you come out as a thought leader in meetups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, and you just, if nothing, you just get to know good people. I mean, like, I'm talking to you. I mean, I've not talked to you before. I have known you before, but I have not talked to you. But
Mm-hmm.
after this, I have a connection with you, so to say.
Right.
I can pick up a phone. Hey, Dwayne, I have a deal, or
Mm-hmm.
do you need any help?
Exactly.
Whatever,
Yeah.
right? So that could happen when you are connected with people to that level. If we
Absolutely.
are not connected, if we are not connect, if it is just one off call, Dwayne has talked to me for 5 minutes, maybe I'll forget after 15 minutes, after a day or two, who is Dwayne, right? But if you talk to somebody for an hour, or listen to somebody for an hour, you are gonna keep them in your mind for some time. And again, we connect again after a couple of months, couple of weeks, and that's how these meetups are helpful. I mean, and I just do it, like you are doing podcasts, I'm doing meetup. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah, I
all
love it.
trying to
Yeah.
do the same thing.
Exactly.
Hopefully, again, this is selfless service to me. I mean, what you are doing is really a selfless service. Educating everybody. That's awesome.
I love that. Yeah, definitely. And then, especially when we get the time, I definitely want to come check out your meetup. And I have one in my neck of the woods. And then when you come down, you'll definitely be invited to ours.
Sure, sure.
Absolutely. And then we'll switch over to another topic. Like I said, I always love talking to successful people, kind of learn about what they do, so I can be able to model that, and other people can get inspired hearing that as well. Take us through a typical workday for you, and do you personally have any special morning routines?
I do. I do have special morning routines. I am very big into meditation. I've been meditating for last 30 years, so to say.
Mm,
And I'm a trainer myself. I help others to meditate also. And it's all free of cost. There, there's no money involved. That's my passion. That's my real passion. Why I'm doing what I'm doing in this mundane life, so to say. So I meditate in the morning. That's my first thing. I get up, I meditate, and then I have my calls lined up, 15 minutes calls with my marketing team every day, daily touch point. and I have my 15 minutes call with my accountability manager. You know, 15 minutes just talking about what I'm going to do, how's this week going so far, how what I'm going to do today, what is the one thing which I'm going to achieve today for sure, how was my yesterday. So I have that. Then I have another call, which is my virtual assistant or virtual assistants, I must say, who are doing work for me. I assign them work. I take their status. So that's like my first, in the first 1.5 hours, I'm like meditation, accountability, and regular catch up with my team.
Love that.
Uh,
Love that. Yeah.
and very structured, no hunky panky stuff, very
Hmm.
15 minutes, no more than 15 minutes. I don't need to
That's all
talk to
you
you
need.
every
That's
day
all you
within
need.
15 minutes. And that's when my day starts, then I go and do what I do. And during the day, a couple of podcasts here and there, looking at the deals. Or, I mean, I'm actually currently working also, because of the pandemic. There was nothing going on, so I had to go back to work. Mm, Hopefully, I will come out of that soon. So currently, I'm working. But when I was not working at that time, also I would do research on different asset classes. I will underwrite properties. I'll take care of what closing is going on, normal stuff. And towards the end of the day, I will have my meditation sessions or some asset management call or something like that. And then I'll meditate, and then I'll go to I sleep after that. I mean, so I meditate in the morning, I meditate in the evening, and then at the bedtime I spend few minutes to pray and show my gratitude to what I have, and and be humble, and then I sleep in that mode.
Yeah, I love that a lot. I was actually I have my teammate here is listening on the call, and I've been talking about the power of meditation and having a routine and being intentional about your day and accountability and things like that. Just all those small little tools just make such a big difference. And all the people I interview are say the exact same thing. They adopt that into their daily personal and business life, and just everything just kind of transform. And also it brings people into your circle. Like I'm able to meet you and learn about you, and then you're able to kind of build your network and just continued success there. So I love that you shared that with us. And then finally, also, and I understand you're a very deep, passionate person. Like I said, you're in touch very well with your family and your faith and things like that. Can you kind of tell the audience, what you're most grateful for?
See, I am most grateful for a fundamental thing which I said, the meditation that I do. My ability to meditate, that's number one. Number two, my ability to impart that training to others also. And in my all humbleness, it is free and it is selfless service that I do. And I don't need to brag about it at all. That's not the purpose, but that is the most humble thing that I have, uh, that I am grateful for in my life. Everything else is secondary to me, but nevertheless, it has come to me in abundance, right? I mean, I have come from a, great, great school. I mean, not to brag again, out of 70,000, I was second to get into that school, or maybe more. I don't even know. I mean, maybe 500,000 people. Whatever. I was like second to get into the school. So I have the right mindset. I again, it's not that I'm praising myself, but things have fallen. All these blocks have come to the right place automatically, even though they were secondary to me. So one thing I've learned in my life, if I start taking care of the most important thing in my life with my whole heart, everything else starts falling apart in the right. Everything else starts coming to the right place automatically. Everything else, the food on the table, I have always been paid. I mean, knock on the wood, good enough. I make good money in my job. I mean, top tier money, basically, so to say. Not a lot of American people. I mean, not just American, everybody, anybody. Not a lot of people make that kind of money, and I'm sure there are a lot of them who make that. But I'm satisfied with what I have. But because of my ability to be able to sit and meditate, and then imparting that to my friends, family members, community, I do the amount of time I spend in my business, I'm willing to spend same amount or more for the community. I do these training sessions in libraries here nowadays, online, 3, 4, 5 times a week. So I'm grateful to that,
Mm,
and because of that, everything else is coming all right in my life automatically, even without thinking or paying attention. I mean, I do pay attention to other smaller things, but I'm not like crying about it. Everything automatically comes in place. So I'm grateful to everything,
mm,
and meeting right people, talking to right people all the time. I mean, it's gratitude that I'm talking to you. I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
who know? I mean, you know what I mean? People don't connect with people so well,
Hmm.
right? I mean, there are people who are like so selfish in the world, who just who would just wouldn't talk to you. I mean, like they talk as if they are full of ego, right? So you're connecting with the right people. It's important.
Hmm.
I mean, trust me, I'm very grateful full of gratitude, and because of that, a lot of good things come automatically. You
Hmm.
attract in this universe. You
Oh yeah,
attract the
yeah.
right energy to yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing. I really resonate with that. And like I said, always trying to find ways to constantly improve myself. I'm so grateful to have a supportive family. And like I said, just meeting people like you or just, and then when this thing's airs, you're just going to be inspiring more people. And you're giving out doing the training sessions for the meditation, things like that. And just, collectively seem like all of the things align and then things just come attracted to you like the law of attraction. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And finally, for people to get in contact with you, we'll make sure to have all your information on the show notes. But how do we get in contact with you, Prashant?
Yeah, so I mean, my website is simple, myrealtygains.com. And I mean, you guys have already listened to what I have to say about. So I have a 7-day email course. You can subscribe to that, or you can become part of my network. My Realty Gains /PPIC, Passionate Passive Investor Club. It's all free. I mean, you just have a bunch of content there for you to learn how, a little bit, to get to know a little bit more about investing. It's not that you're going to be asked to invest. That's not the case. It's just that it is called Passionate Passive Investors Club. My Realty Gains Passionate Passive Investor Club. And on that website, you can schedule a call with me. Just schedule a call with me, and you'll be on my calendar
Mm-hmm.
right away. myrealtygains.com gives you everything what you need. But I'm giving my phone number also, 631-428-6479. 631-428-6479. And my email address is same, Prashant, Prashant, at myrealtygains.com. And Facebook and LinkedIn, you search for that, you'll connect with me. I'm like all over the place, like
Yeah, we'll
like
we'll
everybody
make sure to get
else.
those links. We'll share it with our newsletter and our subscriber base so people can reach out, learn more about passive investing, link up with like-minded individuals that's passionate about kind of changing their financial situation and building wealth and looking to our long-term legacy. Prashant, appreciate you being on the show. Happy New Year to you again. All the best to you and the family. Have a great year and look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Donnie, thank you so much again for inviting me. I'm honored and humbled, and I'm so glad that people like you are working on New Year's Day. Chugging along. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care again. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Hey there, this is Dwaine Clarke, your host of the Wealth Through Real Estate Investing Show. I want to thank you again for tuning in and hope you're enjoying this valuable content. While I got you for a quick minute, I wanted to send you an invitation to join our growing investor community. It's called the Passive Investors Club. It's a group of like-minded individuals like you who are seeking financial freedom and to build true wealth through passive investing in commercial real estate. We take a totally different approach to investing that is opposite, that is pushed by the financial advisors and what we see in the mainstream media. We like to invest in real assets that we can touch and understand and that are not subject to the wild swings of the financial markets. We don't want to be part of the herd who pursues the traditional route, leaving our financial future to Wall Street. So if you're interested in joining our group and to sharing resources and opportunities, then go to passiveinvestorsclub.com/join. Joining the club is completely free and there's no obligation. And all our members receive our free Passive Investors course along with tons of resources and content. So again, passiveinvestorsclub.com/join.